Hello everybody, it's Wendy here from Indigo Blue Team. Another quick and easy project, hopefully. It's that time of year where we're needing to get Christmas cards done and sorted. So here's one of the ones that I'm sending out this year. It's from this set, the Retro Christmas stamp set. I really like this, got lots of lovely images on it. The one I'm going to use today is going to be this big Merry Christmas stamp and the holly, but it's also got this wonderful Father Christmas face, a smaller holly one, a robin and a mistletoe, so it really does give you that sort of vintage look about it. So I'm going to start off by making my background, and for that I'm going to do a little bit of ink smooshing, and I've got some Distress Oxide spray. This one's Gathered Twigs. I'm going to start with that. It's a nice brown and it's got some little hints of blue in it when it oxidizes, so we'll see what we get. I'll add some water there, and I'm also going to wet my card so that it picks up that really well, and just run my fingers through it to break that up a little bit. And the good old apron comes in handy for wiping. And just smoosh it in, don't really care about what you get. Give it a first coat dry. This is watercolour card that I'm using. Works really well for this technique because it absorbs the ink and allows it to spread with the water. You're all sending loads of Christmas cards this year. I've put right back. First of all, we're going to be away at Christmas. We're back in Spain. And really the cost of sending them is just getting so expensive. I think when we make cards we try to add some dimension, don't we, to them generally, and that pushes them into the large letter category. And then if you put a little letter or something inside, it's even more. So it's starting to get a bit mad really, which is disappointing because I do enjoy making them when I've got time. So this year I've cut right back, and anybody who's on my Facebook friends list sort of knows what I'm up to, and I'm in regular contact with them anyway. It's just the few that I don't see much from one year to the next. Some of the older relatives that I think still like to get a card, and it's still nice to let them know that you think about them. I'll dry that one off. How do you go about making your cards? Do you do that compartmentalised crafting? Do you make a whole load of backgrounds like this in one session and then leave it and then come back and do the next bit? That's generally what I do, although I have to say, if I'm making a lot, I get bored after doing 3 or 4 of one design, and then I want to move on and do something a bit different. I want that fairly dry, well, pretty dry actually, because we're going to stamp on it in a minute. So we'll just give it another bit of a blast. I think that'll be okay. And like that. that to one side because I will need that shortly. Okay, so the stamp, as I said, that we're going to use is this big Merry Christmas. I've already got it mounted on an acrylic block. I need to give it a wash, I think, because the thing that makes it stick on the back is not that great at the moment. I know if I wash it, it'll come back, so I've just secured it with some repositional adhesive to be on the safe side so that it doesn't come flying off in the middle of what I'm stamping. I'm going to stamp it with a VersaFine Clair Green Oasis, and then I've got my clear embossing powder here all ready to emboss over the top. And these traditional Christmas colours. Make sure I've got good coverage there, that I haven't missed any bits out. And stamp it on. Give it a good press. Look at the state of my hands. All will become clear in a minute while they're covered in white dots. No prizes for guessing that I've been doing a bit of splattering. Okay, that's great. And clear embossing powder. So far so good. That can go away. And then I want some red paint. I did experiment with using a translucent paint, but obviously when you're painting over the top of quite a strong colour, the translucent didn't cut it really. So I've gone for a matte paint, Postbox Red. And again, a good traditional red colour. So I'll get some of that out onto my paint mat. Probably won't need anything like that much. And a bit of water on my brush. Not too much because I don't want the paint to run. I do want it to just fill in the letters. So this bit might be a bit boring to watch. It's quite therapeutic when you're doing it. You just sit and concentrate. The first chance really I've had to sit and do some Christmas cards. We've been busy doing some other projects that I'm sure you're going to love. So now they're done and dusted, I'll turn my attention to the next thing. It's really grim and dark outside this morning. It's a miserable day. But at least this light gives me a decent light to work in without a shadow, which if I put the overhead light on, all I can see is the shadow of my hands, which is not that helpful. It's quite a handy little one. I got it from a craft lighting company that Indigo Blue do a bit of partnership work with, and it clips on the shelf in front of me, and it's got a sort of a gooseneck thing that's a technical term for holding my phone, and another one for the light, so it's quite flexible in terms of where you position it. So next week, obviously before Christmas really gets going, and as I said, we'll be in Spain. For a good number of years now, my sister and I, there's just the two of us, we haven't bought each other Christmas presents. We decided a long time ago that there's not much that we actually want, and we were buying each other things that, although they were nice and they were, appreciated and were always well received, there were other things that we could do, and the thing that was most important to us was having some sister time together. So next week on Tuesday we're going to a spa for the day and staying overnight and really having, as I say, some girly time together and a good catch up. I mean, we do over the phone regularly, well, over FaceTime, but you can't beat in-person stuff, can you? So that'll be nice to go and have a massage and a swim and a facial and a girly gossip. Nearly there. I like this vintage feel that this stamp gives you with the inky background. And it's not too complicated in that you don't need loads of supplies to do it. Not that that's a problem for a lot of us. Okay, right, I'm going to just colour in the holly leaves. I'm wonder if I've got a brush that's even finer than the one that I'm using at the moment. There's one somewhere that's only got about 4 little hairs on it. I bet I can't find it. Oh, there we are. That could be it. That's really fine. I think I will use that. And this is another matte paint, Run Forest Run. Almost at the end of this. I'll have to see if I've got another one, otherwise that'll be going on my order to pick up at the open day. I'll start at this end and work back so I can keep my hand out of the way of the work that I've already done. Just dotting it onto those leaves. Little mark, just to highlight the green a bit. And then the holly. There are some tiny, tiny little berries in there, which I'll go back to when we've done the green. And of course you could go in with some stickles, some glitter glue or something like that if you wanted to. I'm just going to use some of this red that I've got on my mat. Just to dot it in. There we are. Haven't missed anything. I think that's good to go. I'll just put lids on everything before we knock it over. So while that's just drying a bit, I will give it a blast just to make sure it's dry. I've already stamped and cut out using this large holly stamp here a couple of images. It's quite a solid stamp, so you can see you don't actually need to do any colouring in really. I used again that green Versifying Clair, the green Oasis, to do that with, and then just gone in with a little bit of red where the berries are, so we'll be attaching those when we're done. I'm just going to give that a quick blast to make sure it's dry before we turn it over, and hopefully won't smudge it. Right, so I've gone ahead already and cut out my matte layer from this. It's a sort of a matte mirror card, isn't it? It's not as shiny as the ordinary mirror card, and I thought that went better with the the vintage look of this as well. Now, because this is a bit bendy, because it's had so much ink applied to it, I'm actually going to use a tape runner to stick it down. So hopefully that will give me a bit more purchase on the card, and I won't have to hold it for too long to get it to stay in position. Okay, now this is why my fingers are a bit speckly. I've just taken a craft card blank and splattered it with some watered down white gesso. I've used a fan brush, which makes it quite easy, but any brush will do, and you all know how to spatter, so I don't know, I didn't have to show you how to do that. So that's just going to go on here. I'll use my tape runner again. Line that up as best I can. That's not bad. But the way I normally manage to line things up is generally not as good as that, so that's a winner. And then I'm just going to attach these just to give it a little bit more. I don't know whether to do two or whether two might be too many. What do you think? Just the one? Maybe what I should have done is do the little one. Maybe that might be better. Excuse the scrunching. Do you think the little one would be better? Decisions. No, I think maybe I'll stick with the big one. And I'm going to pop that on with some grab and go. You could use a bit of foam tape to do this, but again, because I want this to go through the post, I'm going to keep it fairly flat. And I'll just pop that on there. I think one's enough. I think I'm going to leave it at that, because I think if I put the other one on, oh, I don't know. Can you have too much holly at Christmas? Trouble is, if I put it on so that it'll go in the envelope, it'll cover up some of that image, won't it? No, I'm going to stick with the one, leave it at that. And there we are, vintage or retro Christmas, a card done with a bit of ink smooshing, heat embossed, imaged, and just a little bit of painting. Dead easy. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a lovely Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.